man. Yo, what the fuck is up? Well, this has been a long time, guys.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Welcome to the fucking On Repeat
podcast.
I thought it was a repeat.
Repeat.
With your boy Medium Frank.
And Dark Ruffalo.
You know why he's called Dark Ruffalo, right?
No, why?
Because much like Professor Hulk, who is both Bruce Banner and the Hulk, he is evil and he's bad for your cholesterol. Get it? Dark and then Ruffalo.
Oh, okay.
You got to give us some time to get better at this again.
Yeah,
we haven't done this in a minute.
That was off the dome though. That was
Hey, bro,
freestyle.
it's called Feast Styles.
Yeah.
You gotta pay me. Yeah, all right. The deadlines. So
So we have a guest today.
oh, who's the guest?
I don't know what's his name.
Back from rehab. Here because his PO officer said it's all Gucci. Yo, for real though, we're excited to have this guy back around.
Yes.
He's already made such an impact in the few months he's been out. Oh, you should see what he's knocking down in these streets these days. Anyway, it's our boy, Hypeman Wolfy.
Who's good? Who's
Damn.
good?
Damn, he turned Puerto Rican in there. Ooh. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Same shit, different day. In the studio.
Ooh,
You know, it's nice.
Ooh.
Making
Same
making
shit, different
beats
day.
and shit.
Ooh, good. Ooh.
Yeah, he's gonna record today. Actually,
Ooh,
he's gonna
what song?
record what song?
What song you recording today?
Was it Boom?
No.
No. Fuck. Wait, Tropicana?
No,
we have to remind
nigga,
him.
it's your song.
It starts with a G.
Yeah.
Starts with a G.
Ooh, ee.
Walla, fuck. I don't
Why-
know my own track list.
Why are we recording this song today?
I mean,
What do you have coming up?
I got Sex Tape coming up. I mean,
Yeah, what's sex tape?
It's my album following the Foreplay EP.
Ooh, that came out
Oh,
5 years ago. This
damn.
nigga
Came
was
out
inside.
Hell,
Man's had to sit
songs.
down.
Been having
Hella years ago.
foreplay for 5 years.
5 years ago.
Four,
Like,
like,
wow.
years.
Foreplay for
Yo,
5 years.
can we appreciate the bars? Give me the fucking horns on that. You know what's crazy though? Is like, wow. Do you remember? I don't know if you saw this. While Vivek was going, while he was in. Sorry, I said your government name. I meant Wolfie. I'm sorry. We'll redact that later. You know the feds is watching.
They always watching.
Dude, like, do you remember when like? Oh, you probably didn't see it, but like, hella people were. You know, on IG story, you could ask a question, like, ask me anything.
The
in
poll?
AMA, yeah.
Yep.
And one of the people that like I don't really know, it just know I know them through the internet because of Medium Break. It's like, yo, how come you haven't done a song with Wolfie in a while? And I ignored it. And then after that, he asked another one. He's like, are you not going to answer the question about Wolfie? So I was like, 2 questions enough. I've had it. And I put a long ass response. I was like, listen, bruh. Wolfie was my nigga. That was my boy. That was my rib, cuz. But then shit had happened. Even brothers fall out. And some people get lost in the sauce. They get caught up in them streets. You feel me? And he had to sit down for a while. But guess what? When he come out, if he gets his shit together, he's back with me. But that's if he get his shit together. I was feeling myself so much. And now I listen to it. Now I'm like, what a bitch. I was literally taking advantage of his hardships to make it look like I was going through something.
Made it about you.
As I must do always.
But now we have him back.
Yeah, for as he said, Wave Gang is lucky to have Wolfie back.
Whoopee.
Wow, that's all he had to do.
Alright.
Dude, that was a heartfelt welcome back, and this motherfucker hit us with a fucking sound effect.
You alright?
It felt like you were kind of insulting me at the beginning. so that's the best you can do.
Anyway,
But we have some things to talk about.
what are we talking about today?
Well, we're gonna start off with Endgame. If you guys haven't seen it, you're too late.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert,
you're gonna get
bitch.
spoiled.
Oh yeah.
You
Come on,
started
cuz,
it
like where
out
you
with
been, bro? We know you broke ass.
If
nigga.
it,
Like,
yeah,
it's not 1, 2, 3 movies.
It's been a
cuz.
week.
Shit.
Has it been a week? Since
It's been a week.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's
exactly a week today. Actually.
Yeah, that's
Only
too
grows
late.
on
That's too late.
1.2
So that's
billion in the
what
first
we're
opening
gonna
week.
start out with. What did you say? Sorry,
It was like 1.2 billion in the first opening week.
We save that for the podcast. I mean, for the segment.
But this
So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. And then
Yep.
historically on Repeat used to be me and Dark Ruffalo here. You have so many names, good. Like me and Dark Ruffalo here.
Got many sides.
You're
They're all dark.
like Two-Face, but it's like 5 faces. You're just like, I gotta spin my 5-sided coin. Figure it out.
Just a die.
He's a rolling. Oh, but like it used to be us just nerding out about songs we love. and forcing it upon each other, down each other's throats, like a
Ooh.
a hipster yelper.
Ooh. Pause. Hold on.
But you know, like there were some episodes that did great, like the Billie Eilish episode, because
Billie Eilish
because she
was
was
booming.
culturally relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's booming.
And
Thank you
she
guys.
has a good album.
Oh my God, we're already at about the mid-year, so we're gonna we're gonna have our mid-year special.
But I was just gonna say though, so we kind of started with you introducing Billie Eilish to me.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm actually excited seeing, like, listening to her new album. You know, like.
Damn, that started because of this
Yeah.
podcast.
Exactly.
Damn, cuz not only were we homies, we showed each other music. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not good at
Taught
this
me how
anymore.
to sing.
I stopped being good at this, and I didn't even know I was good at this initially until the Billie Eilish episode blew up, and I listened to it. And I was like, oh, we got
Yeah.
to do this again.
I need to listen to that again.
Yeah, man. So like there'd be some songs that that did well, and then there'd be some like the Jermaine Stewart episode that 5 people listened to because like who the fuck knows what that is? these
Yeah.
days? So in order to stay relevant, we have decided to change for the main
Yeah.
structure, if you will. Did you want to jump into that?
Well, we're gonna talk about more trendy current topics, just so you guys are like more part of the conversation, you know, so that you know, like these are things you are probably wanting opinion on at the moment, anyways.
Right.
So,
That's true.
and we have a lot of opinions.
We
It
have
might
a
not
lot
be
of-
great, but
Some of us have too much,
Yeah.
too many opinions.
People tell me to stop often.
So is Wolfie going to be a permanent staple of the show now, or is it going to
hey,
be like a
hey,
recurring
we'd love
guest?
you to be a permanent.
I,
in?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. Yeah.
Welcome to the
fuck
On
it.
Oh
Repeat
shit, you guys are
podcast.
witnessing that.
Wow. He's,
fuck
so like, you know when the Joe Budden podcast started and it was Joe Budden and his friend Marissa, and then slowly Marissa's gone and then they added more people?
Yeah.
This is like the second lineup of the On Repeat
Oh
podcast.
shit.
Now you're forced to like stay with pop culture, so like
Okay. All right. All right.
it sounds like he doesn't want to do it, so maybe we shouldn't do it, huh? We'll just have him
Hey
on
man,
sometimes.
man.
hey, sleep on it.
No, because like I don't actually have a lot of in on the pop. This is probably helpful to
You
me.
got a lot of
Okay.
memes.
It's probably I got a lot of memes.
Oh, he's gonna be our.
There you go.
We'll have a segment. Our
I have
special
too many
meme
memes.
correspondent.
Yes.
Our special internet
Well, I
correspondent.
mean, Pewds already overdid the meme review thing, but like I'll be your like special fucking
You're gonna be our senior
Like, you know
meme
how-
analyst.
like how you know people brought in the special animal guest to talk shows and shit to like bring out like Australian snakes and shit.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yep.
Shit, what are you gonna bring?
Shit.
Well, we're Filipino. We love variety shows.
That's true.
So
You guys won't get to see it, but we'll
I'm
we'll
Indian,
tell
I'm
you
down
if
for
we're
anything.
touching snakes and stuff. We'll describe it.
can you repeat what you just said?
Fuck.
Say it, nigga.
I'm Indian. I'm down for anything
Even butt stuff.
special. Only.
Only.
Oh, wait,
Only
wait.
butt.
And
Before we
when I
get
say
up,
I'm down for anything, I mean only butt stuff. Oh, man. We never even got Zadie DeVito on. Remember we said we
oh
wanted to?
yeah.
Yeah, he's big and white though. He has
He has
so
a
many
lot of
things.
Why
is
he
that
has
a
other
no?
things to do, like defending America.
Oh, is he
Captain
Is he?
America. What a fucking segue. I'm good at this again.
Man.
Hey, do you want to bring us in?
Oh yeah. So then we're gonna talk about Lil Nas X. Did we
Oh,
already
shit,
say that?
Did we already say that? Oh no, we gave an explanation of what we're gonna do.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're
that's
right.
what we're gonna do. And the second half of this, we're gonna talk about literally the most polarizing song in the world right now.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X's
Lil Nas X.
Old Town Road.
Got the horses in the back, the tractor.
So that's what we're gonna do for y'all.
Okay, so let's start with Endgame
welcome.
then.
Ooh, we're gonna start with Endgame.
Yeah. So are we gonna summarize it or what?
Maybe, I mean, first and foremost, no, fuck that. Spoiler alert, y'all broke ass niggas. Watch the fucking movie. It's free online at some place.
Yeah,
Stupid.
yeah, that's
Is
true.
you dumb, 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 dumb,
Dumb,
dumb,
stupid. He's in jail.
So were you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, so Endgame, right? I don't know if we have to summarize it. Maybe we could just talk, like, because I'm sure there's 1,000 places where you could summarize
Well, we
it.
can start with like, what did you think of it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just do
what'd you
that.
think of
It was cool.
So let's start with what did you think of it? Ruffalo?
No, what about what did you? No, I was kidding. Well, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
That's
I
a
think,
mild reaction.
No,
What a
no, no, no.
scalding hot take
No.
from Dark Ruffalo.
So like, I think Infinity War is. I loved it more.
What?
But yes, I loved Infinity War more.
You want to know why? Because he cuts himself.
No,
I like
But-
to be sad.
but
Happiness
no,
is
no,
for
no.
fucking
But
posers.
I also love this film. It's just I think there's
This nigga said film. I'm trying to sound smart.
what is that a film? Well, it's not made with film,
Two
but
thumbs up, head ass. Eber Roper without the disease ass.
this artwork, no. Yeah, I mean, I still think Infinity War kept me more on the edge of my seat
Why?
because like I didn't know what was gonna happen. You
That's
know, like-
true. I guess yeah, because like I guess you
And-
I mean,
lose.
for me, the second like time travel came into the picture, it was just like, oh well, shit.
Well, yeah. So like I like the time travel as far as like those scenes. I think it's just like that's the part of the movie I liked more actually was when they went back to the other
time
movies.
heist.
Yeah, because it was like a sick idea, and for a while I thought they weren't gonna have like a main villain, which I kind of would have been okay with. But of course, I got to bring Thanos
This
back.
nigga wants a David Lynch film. I wanted it to.
Why not,
symbolize-
man?
I liked it a lot too. I definitely liked what they did with, the billions of fucking shout outs to all the other movies.
Yes.
And it was really cool, but like there was some. I mean, obviously, the second you bring time travel and multiverse shit into it, it starts getting like, well, why? Hank Pym was alive in 2012. Just
Yeah, but-
take a plane
But,
over there.
and I was hung up about that for a while too.
Yeah.
Right? But then when I watched it the second time, so here's the thing: like Infinity War and Endgame, I felt like where you could tell Marvel was on top of the world when these two movies came out because there are no other more self-aware
Yeah.
superhero movies, maybe other than Deadpool, which was like it's the
That's-
whole
But
shtick.
that's
the whole
yeah,
shtick,
that's like
right?
it's
But,
gimmick.
But like
Yeah.
Endgame, though, you knew that they could do whatever the fuck they wanted, and they were just like, "Fuck you! What are you gonna do about it?" So
Yeah.
like the second time I watched it, I was like, "Damn!" Like they knew that like bringing time travel in is gonna cause a lot of plot holes, but they're like, "Dude, fuck you," because they needed it. So that
And
they
it's also
could
a superhero movie.
Yeah, and,
So
like,
it
they
needs to
needed
have
it.
a certain level of like, what the fuck?
Right, and they needed it. They needed to introduce time travel to leave the possibility for future fan service for
Yeah.
Tony Stark to come back.
Fucking
For-
Loki.
And
exactly.
and I love that part. And
Yeah,
and
right.
and
Because the comics are literally like that.
yeah, no,
yeah.
exactly. When I was watching this movie, I felt like this is like the best way a comic book story, like a great storytelling
Right.
of comics, is actually translated into movie.
Right.
And that part I love, and like and with the time travel thing, I am forgiving because I feel like of it, even though I felt like there was plot holes.
Right.
Because they literally kind of tell you, kind of like, oh, you heard your idea of like time travel is from those movies.
Yeah. It's like you mean Back to the Future is just a bunch of fucking bullshit? Like explicitly. Like there's no, like you can't deny what they're trying to say.
So in a way, like they can make up their own rules anyways with
Right.
time travel.
Right.
But I think like and I love the part with the movie how it is kind of like a celebration of
Yeah.
what they've made.
Right.
You know.
I think time travel was the smartest way to
Yeah.
thank everybody for 11 years.
Oh
of,
yeah, and there
like,
was like
Yeah.
goodbyes all around. And
Yeah,
shit like that.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's another thing we talked about too when we saw it the second time, right? Like when you see it the second time, pay attention to Tony Stark's
Every single-
interactions
yeah.
in the final act with
Yeah.
every single person, even if the ending is like, even though the end's like 40 minutes away,
Yeah.
the screenwriters and the Russos knew this is gonna be Iron Man's last fucking interaction with this
Yeah.
person. So their fucking conversation or what they say to each other is like poignant, like small things, or even like the nod from like fucking Scarlett Johansson, so it's fucking Nat and fucking Captain America, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, see you in a few seconds, and she dies, and she almost like tips you off that she's gonna die with that. It's like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all that shit was tight, man, and like,
Yeah. Like I definitely loved the movie and the experience. I think it's just like and I think it lived up to the hype. I think
Yeah.
Infinity War still was like the
Yeah.
thing that reeled me in.
yeah,
And even though I like Infinity War more, I think that Endgame could have not been a better. Like
Right.
they gave you what you wanted.
yeah,
It was a great movie,
yeah,
and like it's a good conclusion. You know, that's what I felt like.
Right.
I mean, I personally wish they did a little more with Doctor Strange because he's like my fucking favorite.
But you know what though? Like he didn't need the screen time because he's gonna be the guy moving forward.
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
Out of all the actors that's
Right.
left in the roster,
Yeah, it's like
Benedict
Thor's gonna go
Cumberbatch-
through Guardians of the Galaxy treatment,
And like
There's,
think about like just the actual human real life celebrity. Benedict Cumberbatch is like the premier actor in the whole
Yeah.
cast.
Oh yeah.
The
And
only person that touches him maybe is Chris Pratt.
I gotta say
Yeah.
too, though.
True.
I guess with this movie, the thing that I had a problem with, it's in Infinity War. It seems like every single superhero they put in there had their time to shine. You know, and
Right.
they're integral
that
to the
was-
whole experience.
I mean, I think that was the point after all of these separate, like, it was like prequels and all. I would count the previous ones all prequels to
Yeah, to what they
Infinity
were-
War
Right.
and Endgame
Right.
as like the main event.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
of all the different backstories combined, they had to give each one like equal time. I think,
Yeah,
Right.
but I
just to make it seem fair. I
Right.
guess.
just feel disappointed with Captain Marvel's inclusion
I
in
was
here.
about to say that
I
too.
agree too, but then that was my first gripe too. But then I
Yeah.
think about it too, like if I had to choose, I have a finite amount of time to wrap up this 11-year, 22-movie
Yeah.
saga. Am I going to waste more than 5 minutes of screen time on Captain Marvel, who was introduced 3 months ago? No.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
it
actually
kind of-
like that too, that she didn't just come and save everything when like the core of this entire thing so far is
Yeah.
around the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
know,
mean,
so,
I feel like it wasn't like a Deus Ex Machina thing where it's like, okay, boom, Captain Marvel shows up in this giant fucking
Which she did.
spaceship thing, like
Which she did though.
which she did. It was, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like that kind of felt like her only point being there in the battle,
Like I don't even need her to be
even though
like
she's basically Marvel's Superman.
yeah, but like okay, her inclusion makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I just wish there was a moment with her in the film where I connected with her more. Like I didn't see the past movie,
Yeah.
so I didn't have
another thing to
that,
keep in
you
mind
know?
too is that like Brie Larson shot this before she shot Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So she was still probably like getting her chemistry was non-existent.
Yeah.
Because she literally met everybody.
Right.
So if you watch Captain Marvel, her chemistry was fucking Samuel Jackson. And actually really really good.
And that's what I yeah exactly
but
like
again, like we have time to tell that story.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody else, like you need to wrap that shit up. You know?
It would have been nice if they like her and
And
Nick
I'm pretty
Fury
sure
though,
they're gonna announce she's gonna be the first LGBTQ
yeah.
hero in Marvel, so they're gonna make her a big deal. So like, again,
Yeah,
I'm not-
yeah, and I get that, but it's like in the end too, Nick Fury's back, and they could have had a moment, even just like a hug.
yeah.
But instead, he's just like
But
walks
again,
out
like-
cool. But
Actually,
I enjoy. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I actually had a thought about that. Since they spent a fuck ton of money on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paying all these A-list actors to be there. Like, do you think there was just like a side budget for famous people to just show their face?
Yeah, of course.
I
And
think
Chang
that's
was
what it
in
was.
there.
Since, like,
Well,
Fury, he did his job. He called Captain Marvel. That's
Yeah.
his job done.
Right.
So
yeah.
yeah.
Like, I mean, of course. Like when you have Disney.
Like
the-
Shield ain't gonna do shit against Thanos. Like,
No, and I think what I was gonna say before that was I liked the lack of Nick Fury in it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about Nick Fury, he's like in canon, he's like the father of it, right?
Yeah.
And like he was very involved early on, and then he was not as much later. And it's just like a dad. You know what I mean? He's there for not my dad, but
you mean he leaves?
he probably does. He probably does leave.
He's like, okay, you're born now. Go. Like what?
Uh,
But you know what I mean? Like he's there for like the early parts of life, and then you become an adult, and then after that you do your thing. You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater like my dad did. So you. But you know what I mean? Like, so like his lack of inclusion was awesome too.
Yeah.
But like the fact that they brought him back, and then at the end during the funeral when he's the last person to show his face. Like I thought that was very fitting, and
Yeah.
like he was the one that talked to fucking Tony Stark about like joining this initiative.
yeah.
And now that he's back and we're going to this new era of Marvel, he's probably gonna fucking birth that too. And like, he's so
Yeah, he's kind of the one that tied everyone together
Yeah.
in the first place.
I remember when I first saw the first Avengers, I used to tell everybody my favorite Avenger, even if he wasn't a fucking Avenger, was Nick Fury because he's like the fucking head coach. It's like it's like with the Chicago Bulls when you had Michael Jordan,
Michael
Jordan,
Jackson.
Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and then Phil Jackson. He was like Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah, and like Samuel Jackson plays Nick Fury so well, and
it's
he
him.
is a very important character.
Right.
You know, like without him,
Yeah.
there won't be
Well,
this
he's
universe.
right. He's the common thread between all of them coming
Yeah.
together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I mean, but like here's the like you said, it was like it lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
And nothing that big ever lives up to that hype.
Yeah.
So in that regard, like we could nitpick like little things in the movie as much as we want, but I think overall, they're like the feat that they accomplished
Yeah.
over 22 films, 11 years is like unprecedented.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous how it.
The one thing that did bug me about continuity that I just had a thought is like, so the Hulk, right? Bruce Banner. So after Endgame, Iron Man's dead, Thor's gone, Nat's dead, Captain America's old. Where are his friends? Like, he's just by himself now
Hey,
with Nick
man.
Fury, and
And maybe
Captain
that's-
Marvel's in space, Spider-Man's in high school.
Wait, how about your?
Oh,
with
maybe
Hulk,
him and
he's gonna
Doctor
be
Strange
alone?
could kick it. He's been to his house twice.
Yeah, I mean,
Why is Hulk still gonna be in the movie?
yeah.
I mean,
they didn't
yeah,
write him
'cause-
off.
No. Well,
They
okay.
didn't
So I'm
follow up
confused.
with- They didn't follow up with the Hulk.
In the end, though, you remember how they showed? It's this in the credits, and they showed people's like
Signing,
signatures.
and then it like fades away.
Is that the last one we'll see of them? Is that what
I
they're
don't
saying?
think. I mean, I think they're doing because that's the last time we'll see them as main characters.
Okay.
But I could see like, for example, like Bruce Banner being like in some movies as like a side character.
Yeah.
Or like if they're gonna, because like they're gonna do Thor 4, right? I mean, he's part of the Revengers. Like there'll be a
true,
way
that's
where they
true.
like tie him in. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
And then like it would be cool if we see Cap. Like old Cap as like an Oracle type character where he's like the sage nigga that gives you advice from time to time. Like that'd be sick.
He just gives you
Especially-
pep talks.
especially in
Oh,
like
his pep talks are his superpower.
right. Remember that's like when
Right, damn,
Ant-Man
he's
was
He's
like
got a
fucking
shield,
good at that shit.
military training, and pep talks.
And like like I think too, like because especially because there's gonna be the Sam Wilson and Winter Soldier fucking TV
Yeah.
or series on Disney Plus.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
guarantee that like Steve Rogers is gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
helping Sam Wilson find
From
his
afar.
way as
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
From
fucking
afar.
Sam Wilson be like, I'm not good enough, and then after that he's gonna see Steve and Steve's gonna be like, yes you are, bruh. And then after that Sam Wilson's gonna be like, all right, and then after that fucking Bucky's gonna be like, all right, I'll let you be Captain America. I put in
There's
the
some
work, but you know
tension
what I
there.
mean,
It's
whatever,
like,
dog.
I knew this guy for like 70 years, but fine.
Man, he
That's,
worked for the Russians though.
that's
so-
probably going to be a fucking plot point, too.
That's another thing too. When we watched it the second time, and this is just like as an aside, since we mentioned Bucky, didn't you? See, the second time I watched it, I was like, this nigga Bucky knew that Cap was gonna do that, and it makes sense that he would know even if Cap didn't tell him because like he's known him for like a century.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like he could tell, like when he was like, how can I? When he flipped that line on Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers said that in the first Avenger, when he was like, don't do anything stupid. He was like, how can I? You brought all the stupid with you. So it's like, and the way Bucky said it, so like deadpan, he knew what Cap was
no
gonna
shit.
do. You know?
Well, because like,
he's
but
been-
if you think about it now, though, like Captain America grew up right while all these shit's still happening.
Yeah.
So the whole time he was just in the
I
background.
was
old
thinking
man.
the same
No,
thing.
Yeah, no,
where he's
there-
like,
So maybe
could've
he did talk to the Winter
prevented
Soldier.
the-
You don't know.
But you know what I'm.
crisis or some shit.
But
so you could have prevented hell
I
things from
hear
happening.
so many of you fucking nerds say that. But think about it. I
Save-
know
save Tony from the cave,
surface,
like-
it's like it's not in his character to not fucking get involved in all that shit. But he
was
should-
also getting
but
laid.
Since
no.
he went through it,
So-
he's like, I know that the greater good is to just let it happen because
You know what?
other me is gonna handle it.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna say
guess.
that. I'm not even worried about
Because if you like, you can't.
I
cheat
guess that
time.
makes
because
sense. I guess that
he's
makes sense.
both. He like another version of him is there at the same time.
Yeah, so it's
He
like
also knows
Doctor.
where to not be when shit happens.
Exactly.
See?
So
but
he'd
I
take
think it's
his
just a
wife and
funny
kid.
thought, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
It's a
be there.
funny thought, but it's like nerds and wrestling fans are like the most annoying fans because like no matter what niggas do, they'll find something to complain about. And
mean-
it's like, bro, fucking kill yourself.
but here's the thing with this movie though. I think why I'm forgiving of it, because it is like meant to send off these people and they have their great moments. You know, you're happy for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how in The Dark Knight Rises,
Uh-huh.
you see Bruce Wayne with like Alfred sees Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Anne Hathaway. And it's almost like it's just kind of like to show you how their story ends. you
That's
know?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think like in the grand scheme of things, it is such a fucking feat, and it had no reason to live up to the hype because nothing ever does, and it did. And it was
Yeah.
just great, and like I personally cried through the whole movie the first time, and then the second time I cried through 3/4 of the movie. Fucking Vec and
like,
Zanny was like
He's
making
like,
fun of me the whole
"Shh,
time.
brush."
I'm like,
He's fucking bawling.
I'm like,
Mr. Shark, no.
Oh man, but like I don't know, man. Like I'm excited to see where it goes moving forward.
Yeah.
I think like hopefully there's no like proper Avengers film for another 5 years. Because they need to build everything up again, and I think they will.
Because they built up to the Avengers.
Right. I think another good follow-up movie would be like Hawkeye, because he apparently did a lot of dumb shit as Ronin, so that's gonna come back to bite
Isn't
him
he
in the
getting
ass.
I think he's getting a Disney Plus show.
That would be solid,
Yeah, he's
because
getting a
like,
Disney Plus
there
show.
needs to be some kind of follow-up with Hawkeye.
I
'cause
agree,
It just
and-
wasn't enough.
Agree,
Hawkeye.
and my favorite Avenger is Hawkeye. He's my favorite
Really?
Avenger. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because it's like he is the least remarkable out of all of them, and he has the most tangible things to lose.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like he has zero incentive to be there, and yet he's just like, I'm gonna just do it because I have to.
Right.
Like I think that's fucking beautiful, and like
Yeah.
the fact that like they fucking like, you know how everyone's like, there's no Hawkeye in the fucking Infinity War, including me because I'm a diehard Hawkeye fan.
Yeah.
Well, he was
But
on
they
fucking-
gave him a huge part this time,
Yeah.
but they didn't give him
was on
too
house
huge
arrest.
of a part. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're in
He's
the
a guy
movie-
without powers under house arrest. Like,
yeah, no, I knew that, but it's like also like in a lot of like these like fantasy movies, it's always the non-remarkable person that saves the day.
Yeah,
but they
underdog-
kept
underdog
it in
trope.
perspective where it's like, yeah, he's the least remarkable person. We're gonna give him a huge part in this, but he's literally not ever gonna be the one to save the day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's beautiful to me.
Well, I think
As
it's,
someone who's not unremarkable myself.
no, because I think like with the Avengers especially, like it took me a while to really like the Avengers like that. But I think,
he doesn't like anything. That's why
but I
Too
just
mainstream?
think that
he's in the
no,
underground cape watching fucking.
it's just the first two Avengers. I felt like I wasn't that invested in anything that was happening.
The first two Avengers? Wait.
Yeah,
What?
with Age of Ultron.
The first Avengers was really good. Age of Ultron is
I'm
slept
pretty
on.
sure
I think
they
Age
were.
of Ultron's actually slept on.
kinda
I'm
like
pretty
Age
sure
of
they
Ultron.
were. I just wasn't that invested in the character. It's not until like recently, like
Because
in
it's
Infinity
because-
War.
Because it
with-
all
It's because
started
you.
building up
It's because
to
you like
Endgame.
Ragnarok.
I fucking
I've
love
seen.
Ragnarok.
I like
I
Ragnarok.
But that's
yeah.
like the
Oh my
hipster
God.
choice and like how everybody gets into.
I haven't seen the whole thing.
Taika Waititi.
You haven't seen the whole. You haven't seen the whole Ragnarok?
No,
What?
but like
He's so hipster. He hasn't even seen that.
but based on what I saw, like what's cool is that it feels like it's not like a world-ending kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Asgard's
And I
gone.
think that's why I care more about the newer Avengers, because like even though it's like a world-ending thing,
This guy just like he doesn't like the foreplay.
No,
He likes
no, no.
fucking. That's it. He's
But I'm saying-
all
I got
the
an
stuff
album
that
for
made
you.
this so meaningful wasn't into it.
for me to enjoy a movie a lot, I feel like there needs to be some type of tension, you know. And the first two movies, I didn't feel that tension because I
You
feel
mean
like they,
in Avengers?
yeah,
Really? The first Avengers I thought had a lot of tension.
not
Age of
to
Ultron
me.
had less, in my opinion, and I actually
Yeah.
like Age
Yeah.
of Ultron.
Yeah.
I think the tension though, it's like you don't know what's gonna happen to these characters. While in the first
Well,
two,
I think it was
mean,
meant
you
to
don't-
be
too
that
early.
way
What's
too,
kind
though,
of funny
right?
with Ultron though, like why I really do like it is like Ultron was on the internet for like 5 seconds and said like, "Nah, all this gotta go."
That shit, he went on a Reddit AMA and was like,
He was
"This
just
is
like,
fucking
"Boom, nope,
crazy."
you know what? Scourge on the planet. It's done.
No, don't you think that like when they created this whole timeline, of course, like Infinity War and Endgame was supposed to be the one with the most tension. It's the
oh
end
no,
of
of
it.
course,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. But I'm saying like I know that these movies are like good movies.
Yeah.
They're entertaining. It just to me, I don't know. I wasn't that invested in the characters
Were
until
you
now.
jaded by how bad fucking the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was that happened right before?
Oh, yeah, I
Marvel
didn't like
started to
those
pick
movies,
up? Because
yeah.
were you like we might have just all been like exhausted with how well.
mean-
Fucking Dark Knight and all that stuff
Yeah.
happened in that time, and then after that, the first Iron Man was good, and then after that was kind of shitty, and then Thor was kind of shitty. So we're like, I don't
actually
care.
like
There-
how
yeah,
that
there was a lot of,
Spider-Verse
like,
dropped when it
fatigue.
did, because it like Spider-Man dropped when it
Okay,
did.
let's just
reference
completely
all of the
switch
fucking-
what we're talking about.
no.
No,
Niggas never done a podcast
Like
before.
the multiverse theory fits with all the Marvel Cinematic Universe, blah blah blah, which
Yeah.
explains away the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and the Tobey Maguire. It's just different alternatives, like alternative realities. Brush it under the
No,
rug.
but I
no,
think
I'm saying, like,
what
the
you're
reason-
saying that like I think I was feeling the superhero fatigue.
Yeah, because like, dude, like
You know?
we had the fucking Sam Raimi Spider-Man, that was great.
Yeah.
Then they brought it back and it was trash. And then
Yeah.
fucking we went through the Dark Knight trilogy.
Uncle Ben
Yeah.
died
And then
so many
while the Dark
times.
Knight trilogy was still happening, then Iron Man drops and we're like, oh, this is good too. And then
Yeah.
another one comes, and then Thor, and we're just like, dude, I'm done with superheroes for a
Yeah.
while. and then they did fucking what's that? Scott Pilgrim Saves the World, and you're like, I just can't handle all this
Yeah.
shit right now.
But the thing too with
Twilight
like
happened.
yeah, I guess the newer movies too though make me feel more connected
Yeah.
and relate to the characters more because you can
Yeah.
feel a lot of like pain they're going through and struggle.
Right.
And I guess that's what I like in superhero movies a lot.
But usually
You know?
with like the stories, you don't get to the pain until. The
Oh yeah, they
climax.
did it right.
So
they
I
took
think
their time.
so I think all the early movies was like more forgettable because they're just setting the scene. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's no meat there yet.
Yeah.
You're just so
Yeah.
it all served its purpose.
But like with this movie though, what I like is the little things they subverted
Yeah.
to tell a different story. Because
Yeah.
like I think that's what I was saying. Like I like the first half so much,
Mm-hmm.
and them getting ready for the time heist and then the
Yeah.
time heist itself.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it felt like they brought in like Thor.
Yeah.
Is overweight. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
as you would
fat.
expect him to
Fucking
do
That was
that.
a ballsy move.
That
Yeah.
was. That was.
Big
A lot of
Lebowski
people went in there to see his fucking.
reference.
Yeah.
So good.
Professor Hulk, you know, it's just like
Yeah.
you were expecting, like
Right.
just like okay, action packed.
Right. You know, the one thing I did say to James and Vec when we
Yeah.
saw it right before we saw it the second time, because I'm the ultimate like, dude, like you got to look at the big picture, and like while everybody was bringing up plot holes, I'm like, oh, yeah, but like
Yeah.
that's not the point. But I was like, there is one nitpick that like bothered me the most.
Yeah.
That I don't care so much about now that I've seen it the second time because again, like I took away what I need to take away from it, but was the lack of like showing of the lack of payoff to Bruce Banner because like the entire Infinity War and even in Ragnarok, right? If you've seen Ragnarok and then Infinity War, there's this whole battle between Bruce and Hulk.
Yeah.
And then like and it comes to a head in Infinity War, then he's off screen and then it's solved when you come back. It's like
Yeah.
at least
They should-
dedicate 5, especially if it's
Yeah.
going to be a wrap up for
If
the main
we get
Avengers.
if we get
give
a
them 5
prequel-
minutes. That's true.
If we get a prequel,
we
we'll
get a
like, figure
prequel,
it out.
then-
Yeah.
Well, but I get
He
what you're
runs off
saying
into the
though,
jungle pretty often in the comics, so like
Yeah.
maybe yeah.
because like I think throughout like all the movies, you do kind of see different sides of Bruce Banner, depending on like the first one he like lets the Hulk out.
Right.
Second one he's ashamed of the Hulk, and you're right. Now it's just solved. I think they should have had a moment where like especially Nat died,
Right.
where he kind of like got angry again. You know, it's like. And then he has to resolve that again,
Right.
Sometimes he needs to get angry.
No, that's true. And like again, like it was one of the more interesting threads that was going for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just resolved. And like I liked where he
Yeah.
got to.
Yeah.
But I
Definitely.
would.
I
and,
mean,
like,
the Gray Hulk has been a thing for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like this is the best way to introduce that is actually canon now.
Right.
Like, I mean, it was always canon, yeah, but like this is a great way to like blend it into like the established universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Disney Plus, like maybe they are gonna do some like origin stuff for Bruce Banner because like if you think about it, like out of all of the main Avengers, like the most like he's probably the fourth most deserving of like full fleshed like
yeah.
content, and he doesn't have it because it's all Eric Bana and fucking Edward Norton stuff.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
what I was gonna
I
say.
would and like it'd be cool to see them do like full things on Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna do one for for Black Widow, Hulk deserves one for show.
Yeah.
He was like the most neglected one out of the.
I feel like
initial-
outside of in this cinematic universe, yes, but there's like actually way more Hulk stuff than a lot of
Yeah,
like,
but like if we're talking about the MCU.
MCU
Well-
specifically, yeah, I think they like kind of they didn't finish up where
Well-
they should have. I mean,
And they didn't do enough with him. Period.
yeah, and then it's like he didn't get a resolution at the end of Endgame.
Yeah,
either.
he
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't get a resolution.
Was he at the funeral?
No.
Yeah.
Are
Was
you
he at
sure?
the
Well,
funeral?
Well, actually, no. I think
I
he
think he
was.
is,
He's
yeah.
towards the front. Yeah.
Oh, towards the front.
Because then, like, you only see the front people for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
they really focus
Right.
on the back row,
Ma-
right?
Right.
Wait, who's that kid though? In the end.
Oh, the kids from the kid from Iron Man
The
2.
Iron Man
Or
two,
three. Three.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
him.
I was like,
Yeah.
is that a
No,
new?
it's just
like,
it's nice
Avenger?
fan service.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I actually thought that was Spider-Man for a quick second until I saw the hair.
I was like, oh, they're really
It's like-
going full fledged with Captain Marvel with short
Yeah.
hair. huh?
It's like,
But and then, dude, like the fucking epic fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, probably my favorite moment in all of the MCU is when fucking Cap fucking is able to
You know
wield
what?
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
you know what that
that
made
was
me
crazy.
think of? Like, which one was it? Was it Infinity War where
Agent-
where like
Age of Ultron when he like kind of
where
picks
nudges.
it
I actually think that he was
up. He
faking
could.
it. I think he was faking it.
Dude, we on the same page.
Wait,
I was
wait,
saying that
he
to my
could
sister.
kinda
He was
do
like
it?
trying to like he was faking
Watch-
not being able to
Right,
lift it to
because
make
he does it
Thor
'cause-
feel better.
Right, exactly, because it's
'Cause
in
he-
his character to be like Thor needs his self-worth.
Yeah.
I'm not
Be
gonna
a
do it.
good part of the
but
team,
I'm
you
gonna
know?
lift it a little bit just to show him, nigga, maybe.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, if you watch Ultron, and that's my favorite scene in all of Age of Ultron, because at that point you don't see too much camaraderie
Yeah.
between the entire group. But when fucking they throw that party at the Avengers HQ, and then like everyone leaves, and the only people left in the after party is like the proper Avenger group,
Right.
and they're all just like drunk shooting the shit, and then they're like, and Thor's just being his fucking like douchebag self. He's like,
Right.
I have a fucking hammer. I'm a god. I can pick it up. No one else can. And they're like, all right. And they all try to do it. And then when Cap does it, he like fucking does this whole show, and he lifts it a bit, and Thor's face is like, what? But then he's like,
wiggles.
oh, I can't do it. And now I'm like, Cap Ben could do it. But he knows because he's a good guy and a good
Damn.
leader.
That's why he's worthy.
Wow. I need to see that.
But my favorite scene, dude, it was because the way they shot it too, they were doing a flip on what Thor did to Thanos in Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
Thor,
Oh, yeah.
Thanos is now shoving Stormbreaker into Thor's
It's
chest.
Thor's,
Yeah, I like that.
And then, like, the
flip
way
around.
they shot it, it looked, and Mjolnir, like, fucking hit him. I was like, there's you could think that it could have been Thor, because the way the angle did it, but Thor looked so surprised, you're like, wait, what? And, like,
Yeah.
the way he acted it out, you were like, what? And then it comes back to Cap's hand, and the theater that I saw it in the first time in San Jose exploded. It was like, yeah! It was, like, orgasmic. You know what I mean?
Damn.
It
And
was
I was
pretty
like,
fucking
yes!
tight.
And
It
I
was
was
pretty
already
fucking tight.
crying. But I'm like, now I'm on my fucking feet, and my sister Cammy stands up with me, and I'm fucking bawling. I'm like, yes! Oh my god! And then after that, like, they fight a little bit, and then fucking Cap gets his ass kicked still, and you're like, Thanos is a god.
Yeah.
And then you hear, hey, Steve, on your left, and I'm
It's fucking
dying.
nuts.
And my dad,
That was my favorite. That actually
Agreed.
was my favorite part.
the callback to fucking Winter Soldier.
It was hella shit.
Oh my
all at once.
God.
And then the visuals obviously is fucking nuts.
Bro,
But
I have goosebumps that I'm talking about it.
man, Doctor Strange just has a presence.
No, yeah,
Like
yeah.
when he shows up
Yeah.
through a hole in the sky, you know
You-
shit's going down. It's just
It's and again,
Yeah.
he's gonna be the main dude moving forward. Him and Captain Marvel and Black Panther are the three main guys.
You know what I really liked also about fucking Doctor Strange? Like when Thor and Loki go to like visit him and shit.
Yeah.
So these are two like basically legitimate gods, right?
Yeah.
He's just like dragging them
Dragging them
around
along.
space and time, just
And
like
then
checking his
Loki's
library.
like, I've been falling for 30 minutes.
These are literal worshipped gods. Like this dude can control the lightning. Like
good.
he's just like, no,
I've
follow
been
me, bro.
falling for 30 minutes. Dude, man, like,
Oh, man.
but like, you know what I mean? Like, it felt that ending fighting scene. It felt like when you get all of your toys and all your homeboys' toys, and they're all like, "Yeah, throw them on it." And
Right? That was kind of like exactly
Dude.
what we pictured, like Army Men versus fucking Transformers when we were
Yeah.
like 10.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked
And it's
like.
always like the two sides come together.
Well, yeah, no
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Down the middle.
And dude, like again, like I can't keep going. I keep going back to the fact that like something this overhyped never lives up to.
Yeah.
And they did, and
Oh, yeah.
and because of that, like I can't complain about shit, man. It was fucking amazing.
I also really like the quick moment where Drax is just stabbing the shit
Yeah,
out of him.
Oh yeah.
It's like exactly how he was like stabbing his way out in Guardians 2. It's like basically no lines throughout the film. He's just there just stabbing shit. It's like that's his character. It's fucking perfect.
It's dude. And like you know, like the payoff of like an 11-year story arc. The only thing that I feel that I feel similarly to is like wrestling. Like, I know it's gonna sound crazy. Kevin's gonna make a wrestling reference, but like the thing about wrestling though is like the entire wrestler's career becomes the storyline, right? So like for example, a couple years ago, Daniel Bryan, he's like this dude that's like too small, and like most people like are wrestling fans will be like he's too small to do anything.
Yeah.
And like he would never win. He would like win enough, but never quite make it, and everybody had to just be okay with it, and was like pissed off that he would never get pushed. And then finally, after like this entire career of just losing and not being good enough and stuff like that, he finally wins the championship at WrestleMania 30, and it was just like 12 years paid off, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Wait, isn't that what happened to Kofi
And then
too?
Kofi Kingston, exactly. So it's like 11 years of all this build up, and they finally get it, and that's like you can't. Most movie series or media in general doesn't have like the foresight to do something
Yeah.
for this long and like give it time
Like
to
DC.
build. Even wrestling doesn't do that often. They're like they won't let anything build. It's just
Yeah.
like it has to be pay off now. But Marvel and like Disney and the entire fucking like Kevin Feige and all them gave it time. They're like, let's put out some subpar movies. Let's you know what I mean like let's
Yeah.
put out 22 films so that the journey from film 1 to here feels like the most elongated orgasm ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And in wrestling, they have the ability to do that because it's the entire career, and like you won't really see that in a lot of other like forms of media because there's just not
Yeah.
enough time to do it. You know?
And it's not really something anyone has seen in like movie history,
Right.
You know, because and you don't even have to watch all the little ones. You just have to know enough.
That's true. I mean,
And they pop up in like even all these other like Thor movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They make cameos that built up those characters.
Definitely. And like even like my dad, who's only seen the major movies and then a few of the in betweens, was crying in the theater with me for Endgame. You know what I mean? And it's like if somebody who was barely invested felt that way, like me who watched every single one, and like before Infinity War last year, I watched every single one leading in the right order leading up to
Yeah.
Infinity War. Now that I've done that and I know what the ending is, I'm like tempted to just go through all of it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that's what you call replay value. But yeah, that's damn. We spent 41 minutes. Talking
Oh
about
wow. I mean, it's
I did wanna
Endgame.
bring up one more thing though about Nebula, which is
Endgame. Wait, talking to the mic.
oh shit. I did want to bring up one more thing about Nebula, which is definitely
Who's like she's the hottest character in.
I
the
mean,
MCU.
no,
Who's the hottest?
Gamora. I like Gamora.
Wow.
I like
Yeah.
more too. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, because she don't take
that's
no
usually
shit.
not
That's
the
like a
black
thing.
girls.
What?
She's
I mean,
green.
Usually not the black girl.
I mean-
Zoe Saldana's black. Don't
She's
get
hot,
yeah,
though.
Don't get it
she's
twisted.
hot.
Just because she's green, that's black girl magic right there.
Well,
He's
basically, there was a shout out that I saw. This might be just me, but look up gifs of it. iRobot, where the main robot
Oh,
guy
yeah.
puts his hand into the shield thing to like grab the nanobots because his armor is thicker than the average robot, is exactly what fucking Nebula did with the Power Stone, like hand movement to hand movement.
Dude, the entire
Also,
movie,
not Jedi, Star Wars shit because hey, robot hands.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, like that entire movie was nerd fan service. It was, and nerds still find a way to complain about it, motherfuckers.
Of course, man.
Nerd shit.
Nerds and wrestling fans
But
are the most critical.
Yeah.
Our powers combined.
Well, I was gonna say too with the Hulk, the thing that sucks is like Thor Ragnarok. Even though that's a good movie, that's really like the Hulk story, Planet Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
doesn't even get that, which is one of his biggest.
I mean, I feel like
success.
Planet Hulk is well known enough to where like it's clear that that's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, where the fuck else would he be? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got kicked off into space, comes back as a gladiator. It was Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but the funny thing too is like you could, and I watched an interview recently of the Russos, where like even though there was like this overarching like universe and they knew where they had to get to, every movie was approached individually.
Yeah.
So even though there was like main plot threads that they had to always fall by, there's always like little things that weren't necessarily something that needed to transfer over to new movies, and that's one of them. Like
Right.
Planet Hulk, like of course he's gonna show up as a gladiator, and like of course Taika Waititi did that with that in mind,
Right.
But it wasn't it wasn't like a main thread that was gonna get carried over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for example, like the Red Skull thing, like
Yeah.
that like there was no real plans for Red Skull.
Yeah.
But then they're like, hey man, remember that? Let's just do a callback. because-
Right, which
yeah.
kind of does make sense because Red Skull would be the type of dude to go after the Soul Stone, but he doesn't love nobody, so he couldn't get it.
Right. Yeah.
Right, it makes sense.
Also, do you watch Walking Dead?
No.
Oh, damn it. Because the gay dude in Walking Dead is the guy that plays Red Skull now. It's not the guy from the Captain America one. Yeah.
I didn't even see the first Captain America.
You ever see a Dementor
Really?
say the
It's
word
pretty good.
Lipschen?
It's
Yeah.
better than because I remember when I saw it
People didn't
first
like it. Yeah.
because we had superhero movie fatigue.
Yeah.
I remember I saw that and I was comparing it to like a Christopher Nolan Batman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what the fuck? This is like super childish. You know what I mean? I want
Yeah.
some darkness and some fucking titty and some butthole.
Dark.
You know what I mean?
Wait, that's DC.
Yes, it's Batman I was talking about. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Man.
Any final thoughts from you guys on this before we?
What was I
spent
mad about? Oh yeah,
45
there was
minutes.
like, so you know when they all put their hands into the circle together right before they go on the time heist,
Yeah.
with the red hands and the circle, that looked like Tony Stark's first Iron Man heart.
Oh,
Yep.
Look at you on
Yep.
Reddit.
That's cool.
I know.
Regurgitating memes.
Memes.
And
That
that's
is where
our
I found it.
senior meme correspondent, Hypeman Wolfy.
I text Frank a meme every morning.
I always try, like, I get so annoyed after a while, especially if I'm having a bad day. I'm like, and so I don't respond.
Yeah.
But then when I see a good meme, I'm like, I have to send it to him. And then it becomes a sad fucking. It's like The Ring. We have 7 days. We have to show somebody.
Curse of the meme.
But yeah, no matter how much we all nitpick here and there, I
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
all agree.
It was I.
What a fuck.
No, I still enjoyed it, even though I'm much. The difference is just like in Infinity War, there's nothing I would nitpick. In this one, I think, I nitpick a little bit, but I just like the resolution that they showed. I love the moment with Tony Stark and his dad.
Bro, that's the part that kills me the most.
Yeah.
Dude, because it's like and then the first time I watched it, it was already impactful because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Howard's dead and he gets to talk to his dad. But then when you watch it the second time, it's like Howard's dead and he gets to talk to his dad. Also, Tony's about to leave his kid too because he's about to die. So it just like heightens the stakes. Like, watch it a second time and like pay attention to these things, and it means more. You know?
That happening, I was expecting it to be a corny, like,
Yeah.
but they did it perfect.
Right. They did it.
Love
They
you
didn't do
3000.
They didn't
Right.
overdo the shit out of it.
every like touching moment with Tony was done with the character in mind, so it
Yeah.
never got too corny. And even Tony's like, "This is corny" in his mind. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell that that's the way he acted that out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh man,
Yeah.
Like, it
lots
didn't
of
turn into
great
like
moments.
them in the elevator, and it's like, oh, what are you gonna name your kid? Is it gonna be Tony?
yeah.
Yeah. but
sort of
I
shit.
think
He's like, oh, what's
every-
your name? Like, Tony. Oh, that's what I'm gonna name my kid after this dude I met in an elevator.
I think though, like every moment each character had, I mean, the ones that aren't gonna be there anymore,
Yeah.
was really sweet. Because even with Thor and his mom,
Yeah.
that was a good moment.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like the whole movie was kind of like written around these characters,
Right.
Which is great. Yeah.
Which is needed to.
Yeah, and like that's why their adventure wasn't so much like we're trying to stop a bad guy.
Right.
For
It was set. They were the main subject.
yeah, like it was very character driven.
And they made it the statement was made right away that this movie is not about Thanos. It's about these guys because they
Yeah.
killed Thanos in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
You know what I also love? Sorry, now that you said like Thor's mom, that scene where like Rocket Raccoon's gonna go get the Aether, right? It's like just hunting that. hunting it down.
And then the funny thing too is like, you know how much Natalie Portman hates the Marvel universe.
It's like just hunting her down in the shadows, like
anymore.
holding
Really?
it like a knife.
So the scene she's
Love-
in was
love Rocket
literally
Raccoon.
just a recycled scene because she would not come film. It's like a recycled
Damn.
scene, and they're just like, put Rocket in it.
Well, yeah,
just
like
like
the
if you
CGI
have you
guy
played
into
Kingdom
the
Hearts
scene
3?
that's already shot. That's like
No.
the easiest thing to do.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's not fucking easy, but like, you know,
yeah.
that seemed like the most straightforward way to go about that.
Yeah, but the way they did it is so funny because it's like they didn't like put a lot of time and effort into it because like fuck Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
And like if you play Kingdom Hearts 3 and once you get to like the Frozen world, it's like nothing new. It's just like the exact movie, and then they just throw Sora, Donald, and Goofy in it. So you're just like, why are they there? And that's like the same scene, and then Rocket's there hunting her down. It's like, why is this happening?
They cut it out before they had to do anything actually with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, exactly. She showed up to the fucking premiere. Bitch, kill yourself. Like, I used to be a huge Natalie Portman fan until I found this shit out like last year, and I was like, oh, that's why she got written off so nonchalantly in Infinity War.
Wait, what was the exact reason? I mean, I know she has like
She
some
hated
beef
the
with
director
Marvel,
that
but-
was working on the Dark World, and then like the Dark World didn't get a lot of good reviews, so she's like, I don't want to be a part of this, without lacking the foresight of how humongous this thing was. And then after that, she gets barely included in the last movie. She's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the premiere. Go kill yourself. Fuck you. Shave your head.
You know what's cool? Bruce Willis showed up to the premiere too in his Groot suit. No.
Really?
Apparently, a lot of people there's like,
Bruce
why?
Willis?
Yeah.
He's like, why are you?
Wait, why is it Bruce Willis? You mean Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel?
Yes,
Yeah,
Groot.
whatever. Fucking, yeah.
Bruce Willis and Vin Diesel are not the same nigga, bro.
I know. I've been doing this since I was a teenager. I've been doing this since I was a fucking teenager. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine Bruce Willis as Groot?
Vin Diesel and Die Hard
Did you guys
2.
notice though? On that note, it's not Bruce Willis. It's Sylvester Stallone. I'm gonna bring up and Ving Rhames. Did you see in the final battle that the Ravagers come out too?
No.
Yeah, the Ravagers are there,
what?
which makes me think, why didn't they get Yondu back? I love Yondu.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Dude, he has Yondu. Oh, so my favorite MCU moment of all time is Cap with Mjolnir, but my favorite Marvel line, like quote of all time, is Yondu in Guardians 2. He might be your father, boy, but he ain't your daddy, and that's how he dies. What a fucking great line! Oh,
It's amazing. I mean, what was the in quotes wish for like the snap wish that Tony did? Like, well, I am Iron Man snap. Like,
so good
what
too.
exactly
Iron Man,
was
yeah,
that
that
though? Was it like I wish for all of Thanos's armies
That's
to be
a
destroyed?
good question.
Or was it
yeah.
invaders from another planet be
Yeah.
destroyed?
That's why one of the main questions is Gamora snapped?
Was
like
it,
2014 Gamora? Did she get snapped?
Was it a thing like everyone that has killed someone bad that belongs to Thanos? I don't know. Like how convoluted?
Because like
was
if you because you don't know what they're wishing, and they make it known that you could wish for something.
Yeah, that's
because
basically it.
Bruce Banner said, "I tried to bring that back and I couldn't." So there's like some sort of transaction.
That's another
Yeah.
caveat I have. They could have just gone to another timeline, snatched Natalie Portman, and brought her back.
They could, but that's not the same.
But, yeah.
one. That's the
but-
point.
So
Natasha.
My
Sorry,
one
Natalie
gripe
Portman.
with the movie, though, which I'm just like brushing under the rug, not think about it.
Yeah.
But while watching it, it bothered me how like they killed past Thanos before he did the snap. So does that mean that
No, I think
No,
they
it's
explained that as just
it's
different.
it's a
timelines.
different
it's different
branch.
timelines?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not
So
the
it
same.
wouldn't have
It's
It's
mattered.
not the same.
It's
Okay,
not
I
one of
guess
the
it's
continuous
quantum
timelines.
mechanics.
The same
and
reason,
so
like,
forth.
going
But
back and
I
killing
understand
baby
that the
Thanos.
inconsistency is
Oh my
confusing.
God.
So,
Hold
but
on.
that timeline then Thanos didn't get the gauntlet.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like its own branch. Though,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Okay,
like, think
okay.
about, and like that makes it confusing when they fucking have Cap wait at that bench knowing where they're going to be. So the way you have to explain it out is Cap went to another timeline, lived his life, then Pym
went
particled back
back
to the main timeline
timeline.
where they were expecting him. Because if we're going to say that we killed Thanos and that's just one timeline, it's not one
Yeah.
main timeline,
Yeah,
then how
Pym
did Cap
particles,
do
he was
that?
jumping between
exactly.
universes
so,
anyway.
I see
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you're
Which one to come
confused,
back
but
to.
like, don't think about it too hard.
You know what? Also, sorry. Now that we're talking about fucking baby Thanos, so that one quick moment where Sam was just like miming strangling a baby. It's like,
Oh yes,
has
Oh,
he
my
fucking
God.
done that
He's
before?
like, should we
That
go
was
back
just-
to baby Thanos
like,
and just
the little head shake was
Yeah.
just
Don
perfect.
Cheadle is a
Oh my
god actor.
God, that was fucking perfect. I died.
That's the crazy thing if you think about the MCU. Don Cheadle, like Rhodey, is such a second. He might even be like a third tier character,
Right.
and it's Don Cheadle. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
fucking Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye, who's a third tier character. It's Jeremy Renner.
That's true.
Samuel L. Jackson
Is a third tier
barely
character.
in this movie.
Well, they got
He was
Michael
a comic relief in
Douglas,
Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
Michael Douglas.
fucking Robert Redford.
Robert Redford made an appearance in this. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's literally the Great Gatsby. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? This is crazy, man. But yeah,
It's Disney though. I mean,
Yeah.
they could, if they wanted us, they,
Right.
They got
be
the
in their
infinite
movie.
money cheat.
I feel
Yeah.
like we lived through like such a huge cultural phenomenon the same way that the original 3 Star Wars movies was in the 70s. This was the next thing akin to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like in like I remember I was telling you before.
It's
that,
big
like-
enough.
Exactly.
It's big
and
enough.
I remember I was telling you
Not as
before.
big, but it's big enough.
Right. And I was telling you before that, like, with The Lord of the Rings, maybe I was too young to really, like, the movies. I was
Yeah.
too young to go absolutely crazy over it. I liked them, and I watched them all. But, like, I remember when the 3rd movie came out, and everybody was like, oh, my God. And I was like, good movie. I don't want to see it every 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Right. The books were fucking amazing.
The books were great too. And only because I read the books later in life.
The books were the Star Wars of back then.
Yeah. So I read the books later in life to appreciate it, but like I didn't understand how big of a cultural phenomenon Two Towers was until I fucking went through Infinity War and Endgame, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
you know
mean?
what
When you're
though?
that invested in all the characters already.
The thing with
Can't
that
watch the movies without the books.
trilogy is like, which I think Marvel didn't feel like, it's that the more movies they made, the more bloated it felt.
Right.
Like by the time Return of the King came out, because I love the
Yeah.
first two.
Yeah.
But when the third one came out, I was like, man, this is like
Right.
a lot. This
Yeah.
too much. While like with
It was
Marvel,
a little too dense. Yeah.
yeah, too dense. Like, while with like Marvel, I think it's like each like the movies are always about the characters.
Yeah.
That you care about.
Right.
No matter how big the plot is,
Right.
it's like that's what you like ties you back to them.
Definitely. Well, we spent an hour talking
Yeah,
about
we need
this.
to talk.
should
Our main topic.
should we just like do a separate episode for Lil Nas X and cut it off here?
Sure.
And just make this
sure.
the Avenger episode?
Fuck it.
We did an
Yeah.
hour, y'all.
In
I
part
haven't actually
two.
listened to the whole song yet.
In part 2, we will talk about Lil Nas X.
This is just a
This
teaser.
is just a tease. This is probably gonna get a lot of clicks though because Avengers is such
That's
a huge
true, that's
phenomenon.
true.
So I guess it did deserve its own episode.
It'd be funny the next podcast we do, like, we still don't talk
It's
about
still
Lil Nas X.
Oh man. Because like think about it now, like what is the possibilities now that there's gonna be Disney Plus? Like obviously the main MCU is gonna be moving on, but Disney
Yeah.
Plus could now be like, you want to keep up with some of the secondary characters from the original things? Like you can still watch this.
Yeah, that's just a lot of content there.
And the fact that I heard that like the Loki series is gonna be like Doctor Who,
I'm
but
so
Loki.
fucking
It's like
excited.
him in different parts in history.
I'm so excited for that.
With it.
I
Tom
love Loki's
Hiddleston.
Loki is
doing
Loki,
that?
one of my favorite.
Agreed.
Characters. Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston.
He's a really good villain. That,
But even as a main protagonist, I
Yeah.
think he could do it.
On the dead Lokes.
Right. Just imagine Loki when the pyramids was being made, and it was him. He was like, "Bro, I got the fucking Mind Stone." The fuck you
Whipping
mean?
Hebrews and shit. Like,
Imagine fucking like
Make a
Moses
cat
posed
with a
parting
head.
the Red Sea,
But it was Loki.
really Loki.
with the fucking Tesseract. Just
The
dicking around with
possibilities,
humanity.
I'm so in.
Oh
Like,
my
I'm in.
god. Just like throughout history, dicking around with humanity just because he knows what's gonna happen anyway.
Right.
It's like-
And then the other show that I know is going to happen too is fucking Bucky and Sam Wilson, and it's
Oh,
going to be
shit.
Sam Wilson growing into being Captain America.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
Bucky's like it's going to be like a buddy cop series
that would be hilarious.
with fucking Bucky and Sam Wilson. That sounds like
It's
a
like
fucking
Black Captain
gold
America,
mine.
Yeah.
old Bucky Barnes.
Yeah,
That's,
bro.
that's like just whoa.
Imagine like Bucky's like, I'm not used to that in my time.
Yeah.
and then Sam Wilson's like, come on, bro, bust it down. Like, tell me that doesn't sound like gold right there. That it's gonna be like a buddy cop type shit.
Oh my god.
I know.
Bust it down.
I think Hawkeye's gonna get one with Natasha.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna they're not gonna.
They're gonna talk about Budapest. Who
No,
the
I
fuck
think
knows
they
of
shouldn't
Budapest?
talk about Budapest.
Just
They-
keep it as a
They
running
should keep
joke?
it between
Okay.
them two in a running joke, but they
right.
should show a little bit of their history.
Right.
And maybe Budapest becomes the finale of that series
By
or
George
something.
Ezra.
But yeah, there's like potential for a lot of cool shit on Disney Plus.
Damn.
I was
When
already
is it
gonna get
coming
anyway.
out?
I
This
think,
year,
no, I
right?
think like late 2020 or early 2021.
When's Far From Home coming out?
July?
Ooh.
What's
And
that?
apparently Far From
From
that's
Home
the new
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movie.
I haven't
Happening
seen
after-
Homecoming.
Set
You
after
haven't seen
Endgame.
Homecoming?
No.
It's pretty,
Watch
you
Homecoming.
should
I
watch
hear
it.
it's
This
really
new
good.
Spider-Man is actually reaching
The
my
perfect-
favorite.
yeah.
Because
He's
Tobey
overtaking
Maguire is
Tobey
childhood
Maguire.
Spider-Man to me.
Right.
Tobey Maguire
Same,
will always
same.
be childhood Spider-Man.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
dude
same
is
here.
killing it because that's what Spider-Man's supposed. A
Actually
nerdy little
supposed to be,
fucking kid
yeah.
that doesn't know what the fuck he's
Right.
doing. With like,
He's a nerdy
Yeah.
kid, but he's not like reserved and shy like Tobey Maguire.
And he's not
Tobey
too
Maguire's
much
I'm a grown
like-
man in high school.
What's that guy's name? The
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that
Fucking
one
hate him.
was
That's-
too cocky.
That was the worst Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't,
Andrew-
like
I
I,
don't count
hated
that as a
it, like
Spider-Man
all his
either.
quips. You know,
I remember
like,
I tried to see the second one simply because I'm in love with Emma Stone.
yeah.
Oh,
And I
of
was
course.
like, I will fucking watch it. I will try. And halfway through the movie, I was like, and I was dating Ollie at the time. I was like, I can't fucking do this. And I like left. Sorry, it wasn't Ollie, it was Heather. I was like, I can't. And she was like, but we pay. I was like, I'll pay you the money. I don't care. Let's get out of here. I want Togo.
How many times has Uncle Ben died?
Huh?
How many times has Uncle Ben died?
1,000.
Like,
Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse?
In every single
Thousands
every
and
single
thousands.
timeline he does.
Bro,
Well, yeah.
and like you said, and Enter the Spider-Verse came out at the right time to
That-
explain all
yeah.
this. Oh, what
Oh
an
my
explain
god, that's a
explainable-
great
all-
movie.
yeah,
Holy
amazing.
shit.
Oh my god.
fucking Nicolas Cage was Noir Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck? I mean, the Porky Pig Spider-Man was like, okay, fine, it's a kids movie. I get it.
Right.
But like, yeah, but still,
So fucking great. man.
Wherever I go, the wind goes.
like, Kawaii Spider-Man. The robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, like I was gonna buy Disney Plus anyway because I'm a Disney head. But now
Yeah,
that
see,
I
I-
know that there's gonna be a lot of Marvel shit in
I'm
it,
still pirate
I'm
it.
gonna buy it.
See, that's the thing though with like Disney Plus. Like, am
They
I
don't need
gonna
my money.
find enough content just because like it's
That's
all
what I thought
Disney?
too. But dude, there's hella Disney stuff and Pixar stuff to get put in there. All the shorts that happens in between.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff they could
lot.
do. If anyone's gonna do
Who
something
knows
like
what
that-
happened in those 5 years in between? Like,
Bro,
there's
and then-
so much time to
exact-
fill.
Exactly. There's like so many things, like all the like the perfect excuse for introducing time travel and having loose ends not tied is we're gonna talk about it in Disney Plus. Like there's so much potential there. You know what I mean? And like it makes sense. If anybody was gonna do something that was worth it, that's a streaming service, it
What I
would
had-
be Disney because like
Right.
there's NBC streaming shit. Like I don't give a fuck about that. And I hate that I'm going to contribute to this phenomenon of like streaming services, but Disney and WWE and Netflix are the three ones that are worth it. Those are the ones I will pay for.
What
And
I
do
am
pay for.
actually stoked for, I had a thought that since Captain Marvel is going to be leading the team now, right? The
Yeah.
next big villain's probably going to be a Kree invasion.
Yeah.
That's going to be fucking amazing.
No, I think they need to do a full Secret Invasion movie because like they made the Kree look so weak in that
They
movie,
did.
and I'm okay with it
I
because
mean, they're
I'm
just space Nazis.
And,
It's
and
not
then like again, like I
complicated,
know,
you know?
that they're probably just setting it up for us to show the duplicity between like the entire race. Like you could never paint an entire race to be one thing.
But
Yeah.
they're space Nazis.
Right, and like eventually they will do that. But they wanted to show that like, you know, every like you could have some sort of sympathy for them now because then when you
Yes.
see them do dastardly things, it's gonna hurt you more. You're gonna
Right.
care more about how mean they are. It's like wrestling. When a fucking good guy, you like the good guy, then he turns bad and you're like, why would you do that?
Right, you feel
Rikishi?
personally
Why would you
attacked.
run over Stone Cold Rikishi? I love watching you dance with Scotty 2 Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay. But then when he
Rikishi.
becomes a good guy again, you're like, thank God. You know what I mean? It's all wrestling at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I've learned because of wrestling, like you just gotta let the story be told.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not used to that because movies are usually telling an entire story within itself. With the Marvel shit, it's like you just gotta. It's like maybe the resolution's not even 5 movies from now.
Yeah.
You know, like the Kree looked so weak, and I hated that about Captain Marvel. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, the Secret Invasion comic is one of my favorites of all time because it's like, dude, you never know who's a fucking Kree. You know what I mean?
You know
Or,
what?
well,
Shit. Sorry, my ADHD is kicking in, but you know when Pepper comes in as rescue, right?
Yeah.
We only get a quick second of Iron Man
Yeah.
and rescue at the same
Together.
time.
Yeah.
And that 1 second was fucking
Perfect.
awesome.
I cried my eyes out.
I mean, I wouldn't like make the movie 3 hours and 5 seconds long. It was like
Yeah.
5 seconds of
5
that.
seconds
would've
of that was
been fucking
perfect.
great.
Yeah.
But like a little longer would have been cool because
Yeah.
like holy shit, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, but that also maybe now we're gonna get a rescue backstory.
I mean,
Remember, because like Iron Man, Tony's like, oh, I got this for her as an anniversary.
so
present,"
Happy's just
and
like
then
a
she got
permanent
over it.
babysitter? Like,
Huh?
what? Happy's just gonna be a permanent babysitter?
I mean, Happy's probably like, yeah, Happy was like, fucking.
mean,
Family,
yes,
Happy's
yeah,
like always there though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
His
that's true.
family.
Yeah.
He's their driver, pretty much their
Yeah,
bodyguard.
and he's like
Yeah.
he's like the director of the
Yeah, of the movies.
He directed all the Iron Man movies. I mean, come on, bro. What do you mean? Kayfabe, brother. Oh man. Well, shit, y'all.
Yeah, holy shit.
We didn't talk about Lil Nas X. That's gonna be on the next episode. You're probably not gonna hear it for. There's gonna be like a week in between.
Well,
Well,
this
there-
episode,
there's
but-
no other like Marvel movies coming out soon, so I think
Until-
we'll get
Anything
to
X-Men
Lil
related?
Nas X. Yeah.
Anything X-Men Deadpool related?
what
I don't
that's
know.
coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure Deadpool's gonna make it. Like
There's
You know
Detective Pokemon coming
Yeah,
out. I
that's-
mean, that's completely.
Ryan Reynolds.
Off
X-Men's gonna
topic,
get
but-
introduced, but I think it's still a little too early for X-Men to get introduced.
Yeah.
They
to
should get
to
introduced.
Disney Marvel?
Yeah,
They are?
They're gonna. Dude, there was a Fox merger. They're gonna do it.
I guess
And then
like,
I have to show you this one interview with the Russos where they're like, it's gonna happen,
yeah.
but we just don't know when. You know
Because
what
I
mean? Like-
think I want to see like Logan. I think is the best X-Men movie so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
But I do want to see Disney's take on it because
Yeah.
I think it'll be more comic book like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, I still think it's too early to introduce that big of a new group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have to like ease into it. You know what I mean? Like we're still getting to know Spider-Man in many ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're still getting to know Black Panther was one big movie, little parts in Civil War, little part in Infinity War,
Right.
little part here. Like we still have yet to fully explore them too. Like we should give them time, and then X-Men come in right before the end of this phase. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get how contracts work and stuff, but like, it didn't. I've always had this in the back
Man,
of my mind.
I've
like,
learned. Okay, go ahead.
No, it was just like in the back of my mind. It's the same planet. It's the same Earth, right? It's like
Yeah.
Earth 636 or something.
Yeah.
161 or whatever the fuck. The X-Men are still there. So is like Reed Richards and the Thing and all that stuff.
they're all there. They just
Right.
they
in the same city.
and they proved that you could have people exist and not be in the main movies by the fact that fucking the ancient one or whatever her
Yeah.
name, she was there during the 2012 invasion in New York fighting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never see her in the
Right, of
Avengers
course.
movie. So like that shows that it's possible that even though like they haven't been shown at all, that the X-Men have been there the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I mean
Would've
that's
been
the
nice
same
to see, like,
thing.
a little Cyclops beam go up like, in the background.
that's a little too fan
Yeah.
servicey. You don't want to tip your hands.
It's
That-
just
that's
an
what they
extra
did,
laser
They're doing
though.
some
shot.
small stuff though with the underwater fucking earthquake. That's got to be submarine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what they did though with the Marvel Netflix series. Because they're still part of the MCU. They talk about it and their
Like
stories
Luke
tied
Cage
to it.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah,
But you
yeah.
don't see them,
Right.
and they don't see those
Iron
people.
Fist was terrible.
Yeah, Iron Fist was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Punisher was fucking sick.
Oh, Punisher's
haven't
always
seen it.
fucking sick. He's,
Punisher's
yeah.
fun. And it's fucking
Just in
Shane from
concept.
Walking Dead. It's
Yeah.
fucking
He's a good Punisher,
great
though.
Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, the way he acts, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do more with it in Disney Plus. I don't know.
I don't know, though. It's like, I think
Yeah.
Marvel, no, what is it? Daredevil?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's going to get a complete recast,
Yeah.
complete redo.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were telling me Daredevil was really good. I haven't seen
Oh
it.
my God, it's amazing.
haven't
dude.
seen
You got to
that's-
see it.
I've
Because
only
that's where they
I've only
first
seen the Ben
introduced...
Affleck Daredevil.
No, that one's bad. That one's bad.
was all
But that's where they first introduced the Punisher.
Right,
and he's
right, right,
so
yeah.
fucking badass. In
That's
that.
what I heard too. Yeah, I've just never seen. I've went straight to Punisher.
Just dudes in tights kicking ass.
I mean, that's what we've been talking about for an hour and 5 minutes.
All right, I guess that's all we could say for the movie right now.
Oh, last thing.
Oh god.
So when Iron Man is holding Peter, right? When he turns into dust,
Yeah.
same shot flipped
Yeah.
around at the end with Peter looking at Stark dying.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
That was great.
Man, and then
like
fucking
poetry, it
Pepper's
rhymes.
fucking the way what Pepper says like we're gonna be all right. You could rest now. Oh my god.
And happy with the cheeseburger line.
Oh yeah, because then when in
Yeah.
Iron Man 1, oh my
Yeah.
god, dude.
And
I
the
can't-
clanging sound is totally him in the
It's
cave
in
making
the
the
cave.
first one.
Right, yeah,
Because
totally.
like, hey,
Yeah.
start and finish. Blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. What a I
was a
can't
Oh
believe
yeah, and
this
how
guy-
the movie pretty much ended with the snap again, except this time it's not Thanos.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Jay, remember how Zanny DeVito was complaining about like the pause between I Am and Iron Man? I'm like, bruh,
Dude, just
it was
he's
supposed to
currently
happen.
dying.
Yeah, like dude, like let him
You're
fucking.
watching him die.
I want him to hold it longer. If
Wait, that was
You
his
mean?
gripe about
Yeah.
the movie?
My
and,
God.
and
Because because you didn't know what he was gonna say.
Right.
You know, I am.
I am hungry.
What are you?
no, because
Iron Man.
Yeah, think about it. Like the entire story arc for Tony Stark
Yeah.
was he's fighting between all of his different.
Apparently, he
ethoses.
ad-libbed that in the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
As he should.
He's fucking Robert Downey Jr.
You know what my
sorry,
fa-
Iron Man.
It's like, oh shit, we got to rewrite this whole thing.
What's your
Everyone
favorite
knows.
Avengers ad lib of all time?
I'm Iron Man
I'm Iron Man.
for sure.
The Peter Parker one was really good too. That people like like I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark was ad libbed.
Really?
That's
I
My
don't know
favorite
the
ad lib.
ad-libs.
Where's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? And then did you know that was ad lib?
Yeah, that
he was
I
like,
did hear.
I'll do you one better.
That's fucking amazing.
Why is Gamora? Fucking amazing. That's my favorite ad lib of all time.
Oh man.
Oh man, we nerded out for
Yeah,
an hour. and
wow.
7 minutes. We need to
we
end
got
this
too
shit.
lost in
Yeah,
this, man.
man.
We thought we were just going to talk about
We're-
a few things.
There's gonna be a week in between y'all hear these episodes, but we're gonna take a 5-minute smoke break.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come back and talk about Lil Nas X.
A Force
I
is
swear
the
to God.
shit. A Force.
Yeah. Oh
A-Force.
my god, when it was all the bitches,
that was-
and then my little sister,
All the
Cammy, my little sister was just like, "Yes, lesbian pussy power," and then my mom was like, "You just like pussy," and meanwhile I'm fucking crying, and now I'm laughing and I'm crying. Oh man, you could ask these motherfuckers how much I cried, and
He
that
cried
was the
a
second
lot.
time. Because there's
A
things
lot.
that I didn't cry to on my first watch that I cried to on my second watch because I
A
knew
lot.
that would come. Oh. I'm in touch with my emotions. I'm not afraid of them.
A lot.
Anyway, thanks for.
right.
All right, where can they
All
find?
right.
Hold on. Thank you for joining us, Wolfie.
Yes.
Where can they find you on social media?
at Hypeman Wolfy. It's like if I have anything, it's gonna be Hypeman Wolfy. One word, no capitals.
My favorite thing that you do on IG right now.
Oh,
is
where's Wolfy?
The hashtag Where's Wolfy
Hashtag Where's
series.
Wolfy.
You know who
I drive
started?
Lyft, right?
You know who started the where hashtag Where's Wolfy?
No,
I
who?
have proof. I could show y'all receipts. Who hashtagged that first? It was me. This nigga disappeared for a week 3 years ago. Remember that? We went on a crazy binge. Poof. And you disappeared, and we were all. I was calling your mom.
Yeah.
We went on a manhunt.
My
for this
phone
motherfucker.
broke. I just didn't get another one for 2 weeks. I did the same things I usually. I went
Dude.
to work. I went to the bar.
Where's
went
Wolfie?
home. That's it for 2 weeks.
But now-
Album idea. Where's
Hashtag
Wolfie? And it's just like a poster of him.
It's him. It's,
with,
it's
like-
Doctor Who. It's Wolfie during the pyramids, building the pyramid because he's a slave.
Red circle with an arrow pointing to me.
Oh man, but yeah, no, that's a fun series because then he'll post like a very obscure picture and give you a weird clue as to where he
Yeah.
is. Today I nailed it because he was like, recognized it because I'm Filipino and that park is right by where
Refugio Valley.
Tito George and where Tito George lives in
Yeah.
Hercules, and his line was, "I know every mile." Dot, dot, dot. And I was like, oh, we'll be worth
My
Hercules
while.
got it.
Yep.
I am losing weight. I won't get diabetes. I won't amputate my foot or my arm. I know extra large is in my garage. I could wear most anything because I don't need a bra. That's only one of our Disney remixes. You don't want to hear the others. Ooh. So anyway, yeah, at Hypeman Wolfy. Where can they find you, Dark Ruffles?
They can find me at the Holographic Children.
Ooh, that's
me
different.
out there.
now. This is
What?
the first time you've been at the Holographic Children during
Was
this
it?
podcast. It was,
Oh,
it was
yes.
at Dark Ruffalo before.
No,
Or no,
it
at
wasn't.
Bully Kid.
At Bully Kid, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a music video out. You guys should check it out.
It's called
It's
Lost
called
Loser.
Lost Loser. And you can find it on the WGWW channel on YouTube.
Bam.
Consume.
You can find me on Twitter at WGWWFrankie and on IG at Medium37Franc. That's with a C. It's like French money. You feel me? Yeah, you should also follow you. He's never listened to our podcast. That's literally how we do it.
This is
all
the
time.
first time I'm listening to / being a part of it.
I hate you. I hate you.
I didn't know we
follow
were
the
doing
rest
this
of
today.
follow the rest of the Wave Gang brethren
Yeah.
at Zanny_DeVito,
That guy.
at StayGold11, at
E-Fray Photography.
yes. Shout out to the homie
Photography.
Eric.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen any of the holographic
Holographic
sessions,
Sessions.
y'all should watch it. That's one of our favorite shows to do too.
Cammy does our editing?
Yeah,
Okay,
at
Camila.
Okay,
Okay,
Camila.
Camila.
She does all our visuals. You already know that. Follow the Wave Gang cousin at Jay with the Dreads. He has a holographic session.
Yep.
You should check it out. The people that's done the session before, Zany DeVito,
Zany.
of course. Me and Chemo Slice, because we have an album out called 80 Seagull. It's been getting a lot of good reviews. Thank
Yeah,
y'all.
check it
It's
out.
lit.
Check it out.
At the Holographic Children has done one. It's like it's almost like Stan Lee showing up as a cameo. Right? It's his show. He does it, and he probably has the best one. And then fucking Jay Harmony did one. I already
Run
said
Your
that.
Pockets?
Yeah.
And then Run Your
Run Your
Pockets,
Pockets is
the
coming
one
up.
coming out
Yeah.
next. So make sure to follow at Sean Your Pockets and at War on Our Minds is Adam. What a fucking is it? But yeah, I think
Who
that's it.
else? Is that it? You got.
We have so many people in the squad
I
now
know.
these
We'll
days,
we'll
man.
link all the
in the bio.
in the bio.
You wanna
Unless
take
you're a
us home?
SoundCloud. Huh?
You want to take us home?
To where?
What's our outro again?
See you guys.
And then it goes, rolling up on your beaches.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling up on your beaches.
Yeah, what was our outro? We just said bye. We just
Let's
give
make
it
a new
shout
outro
out.
now.
Right, I love you guys.
Yeah,
That was,
alright.
I
that
love
was
you.
fucking awful. This is the on repeat. Zip it up and zip it out.
Bye, nigga.